Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and doing another Aether Revolt Intermediate Swiss Draft League. If you like the content on this channel, please like the videos and subscribe. Thank you so much. We also have a video posted today, brand new Learning from Sam. So Sam Rubin is doing we're trying something different than limited on this channel. And if you like it, please give it a thumbs up and let us know. Thanks so much. All right, we got Rishkar. I got a chance to play with this in my first draft. I thought it was excellent, so we're going to take it. I like it a lot. I'm taking it over the Caught in the Brights, which is pretty good removal. Outland Boar, which is a good card, but obviously 2-color. Still not a big fan of Death Dismissal, just too expensive. And then we have Shock and Scrounging Bandar, both of which are very good too. But let's take the Rishkar. It seems like I tend to make the +1/+1 counter decks fairly frequently, but whatever. I think they're good. I definitely think they're good. All right, so now we have Lifecraft Cavalry, which is mono green still. We have Barricade Breaker. We have this Renegade Rallier, which I think is a really good card. Like, that is good value that you get. Honestly, it's probably just worth taking here. If we don't end up in white, it's probably still okay. And I was going to say, it seems like a card you could probably splash for. I still want to live the dream of just playing 3 to 5 color decks with base green. And basically just going to town with the Unbridled Growth and stuff like that. So let's take the Rallier here. I think this card is really good. I think the Cavalry is good too, like I said. But I'm gonna try this thing out. Ooh, you know, I feel like this card's really good too. The Dragster. I really like this card. We have the Leopard as well, which is good. I honestly might just like the Dragster more. We also have Implement of Ferocity, which is a very good implement. So choices galore, but I think I want this Dragster. This card is sweet. Like, granted, you only get a couple attacks with it, but then you get to draw 2 cards? Yeah. All right, so let's take the Dragster. And it's blocked too, so I don't know. Seems good. I mean, granted, it's only a 4/4, but I don't know. It feels like it's a good card. Well, this is good news for us. We get Druid of the Cowl now, which is just really a fantastic 2-drop. And the beauty of it is there's really nothing else close to it here. Next is probably Cruel Finality, which is fine. I've been more impressed with Cruel Finality than I thought I would be. But obviously Druid of the Cowl here, just really nice pickup for us. Oh, wow. Restoration Specialist. This card, we're getting some nice graveyard value here. If we can make this Rallier work, I feel like this card's great, right? How is this card... This card looks so good. 2-drop, 2/1, so Goblin Piker at worst, and then 1-drop, maybe get 2 cards back from your graveyard to your hand. I really like this card. I'm going to take it over the Infusion, and that's about it. Very nice with the Dragster, actually, because this goes to your graveyard eventually anyway, and then you get it back. Okay, so Monstrous Onslaught this late. Wow. That's pretty amazing, actually. So taking it, there's also a Perilous Predicament in here, which is good, but not nearly as good as this awesome Monstrous Onslaught. Yeah, this is some very premium green removal. We don't have the best bodies for it yet, but we'll get there. We're in green. Okay, so now we have this Aid from the Cowl. I don't actually think this is that good of a card. I did play against it. It's 5-drop, doesn't do anything, and you have to trigger it to even get value off of it. I'd probably rather just have a Mobile Garrison, which is a good vehicle anyway. So I think I'm going to take the Garrison over the rare, on-color rare here. If it's a permanent, you don't even get card advantage from it. I mean, you potentially do. The setup for this card is just too much. Like, maybe if it went to your hand otherwise, that would be really good, but I just not feeling it. Well, here's a little Revolt Enabler. So I guess if I'd gotten the aid from the cowl, we could have gone off every turn. That would have actually been pretty good. But I'll take the Conviction now because I still like having a Revolt Enabler. All right. So green-white. So we're probably just going for... I'd like to focus on Revolt because I feel like we're going to be able to find quite a bit in these two colors. But we can have an energy sub-theme. We can do an artifact sub-theme. We just need to sort of establish what we want to do here. We're off to a fantastic start, though. I'd love some more enchantments. The nice thing is if Conviction goes to the graveyard, I can get it back, too. What? We wield a Bandar? Yeah, this card is so good. Getting the Bandar back is... That is a gift, my friends. This is a wonderful 2-drop. I mean, I guess we can take the Automaton here. This is not a very good card, though. It's not even, like, really a Revolt Enabler, right? Because 5 mana is just so much on the top end anyway. But, I mean, I guess it can save from removal spell in a pinch. I guess. The chances of me playing it are so low, but I'm going to take it anyway. I don't really care about any of these cards, do I? None of them are worth splashing. And at this point, I do feel as though we're likely green-white. I'll take the artifact, I guess. Okay, we'll take the Reservoir Walker. Don't really like it all that much, but we'll take it. Still off to a fantastic start. So if we can get some Unbridled Growths, we're going to be looking good. I'll take a Strangler, I guess. Still a black card in there, so whatever. No reason to take a land. I'll take the Strangler, just in case. I mean, there's still a chance we could dip out of... I guess, I mean, I'd rather dip out of white than green. We have Rishkar, Monstrous, Onslaught, and Druid of the Cowl, and Scrounging Bandar. So all of our green cards are very, very good. And green-black has a nice little +1/+1 counter synergistic deck. So there's an option. Oh, yeah, Scrap Trawler. Scrap Trawler worth anything? I feel like it probably is, right? No, 31 cents. Well, it is a good card. I feel like it's not that great for us, though, is it? Well, return to your hand target artifact card in your graveyard with lesser converted mana cost. So we only have one at the moment. It doesn't mean this card wouldn't be better later, but we have Aerial Modification, which is great, but I might just prefer the Bandar or the Renegade map. We wheeled a Bandar last time. The map gives us a free way to fix as well as a free Revolt. But actually, Scrounging Bandar gives you a free Revolt too, so I'd probably prefer the Bandar here, just because I think this card is so good. If we could wheel Modification Elite, doubt we'll wheel the map, doubt we'll wheel the Trawler, but I'll probably just take the Bandar. Great 2-drop Revolt Enabler. Works with +1/+1 counter synergies, which is also very good. This pack's got some good choices in it. So we might be able to wheel the gift. I want the gift because we have good cards for it. Rishkar, double Bandar. But I think we're going to take the growth here because I want a free Revolt Enabler. This does essentially the same thing Renegade Map does. Right? I think it does. It pretty much does. And then we could maybe wheel the Countless Gears Renegade, which I think is a good card. Fits in thematically with what we're doing. And the Aeronaut Admiral would be good too, because we do have a couple vehicles. but I kind of want this growth. I want to be able to splash something. I want to be able to get free revolt enabling. I want to try and focus on that if I can. I want to start to, and I feel like we're likely going to wheel something that I want, whether it be the Renegade, the Gift, or the Admiral, or I guess at worst like the Automaton. I think we're easily going to wheel this, and we could wheel one of these three, and any of those would be great. So we'll take the growth here. Ooh, another Rallier. Yeah, it's pretty nice, especially with all the 2-drops we have. Like Rallier with Scrounging Bandar is great. Just move the counters, play the Rallier, get it right back. It's really good. There's an Infiltrator in here too, but it's got to be Rallier here. Herbalist as well. The Herbalist and the Infiltrator, it's nice to see them, but taking that Rallier. And actually the Rallier with the Unbridled Growth is just so good too. So good. Sack it, draw a card, play Rallier, get it right back. Okay, so we have another crack at the Gift, or we can take the Harpooner. I think the Harpooner's okay. Considering we're a little bit removal light, I may just want the Harpooner. We have some great ways to get Revolt right now, by the way. We have the 2 Bandars, which I already mentioned, but we also have Conviction and Unbridled Growth. And even Restoration Specialists can do it. This deck is sweet. We get back growth and like a Dragster. That is amazing value. Another Conviction in here too, which would be good. But I think we'll actually take the Harpooner over the Gift. I'm still hopeful we can wheel the first one. But I'm going to, I guess, try and focus more on Revolt than focusing on +1/+1 counter synergies. Okay, so we can take the Renegade, which is just a 2-drop. I don't really like the Inspector. I still don't really like Death Dismissal. It's just too expensive. Granted, we are very removal light, though, aren't we? We basically just have, what, a Monstrous Onslaught, which is good, but I want better. I'm going to want better. We also have Treasure Keeper, which is just a great card, too. Maybe the Treasure Keeper is actually the best. Like, a 4-drop 3/3 that just gets you free value when it dies. It is very good. And actually, it's really cool with Rallier, right? Like, your Treasure Keeper dies, and then you reveal a Rallier, and then you get a Revolt trigger, too. We're going to take the Keeper here. Okay. So, we could take another Conviction. I'm fine with that. I don't love playing all of these auras, but otherwise it's like a Natural Obsolescence, which would be okay. Or an Implement, which I think is worse than Conviction anyway. So let's take the Conviction. Let's try this card out. I've been curious. Another one? Jeez. So we have a Crusher now. We already have a couple vehicles. Probably don't need a 3rd Conviction. Consulate Crackdown, though, does seem like... Alright, let's just take the Crackdown. This card seems good. Kill all your Servos and Thopters and maybe more. Like, this card is very main deckable. We'll take it. Okay, we can take the Decommission. That deals with a lot of things, but I think we actually want the Silkweaver Elite. We're looking for good... I think we still have a chance to find an Appetite of the Unnatural, which is a better card in my opinion anyway. So we'll take the Silkweaver Elite because I think it's just... We really want to maximize this Revolt value, and I think the Elite can do that well. Okay, we got the modification back, which is really nice. We're definitely taking this card. Besides being a game winner on most creatures, putting it on a Dragster or a Garrison would be fantastic, and we can bring it back with the Specialist as well, so very good. Taking it over another Decommission and a 3rd Conviction once again. So I think the Walker can get the boot, we just don't need it. Ooh, we got the Gift back, that's great. So all the ways to capitalize with that right now. I guess we just have 2 Bandars and a Rishkar. So not as much as I'd like, but we'll still take it. So another crack at the white implement, which is fine. Our Revolt enablers currently are Growth, double Bandar, double Conviction. 5 enablers is actually not bad at all. So maybe we just want the Natural Obsolescence. But we already have a Consulate Crackdown. I'll take the Implement. Can also get it back with a Rallier, I guess. 2 life is pretty unexciting, but it's also cheap. I guess I don't need any of these, so I'll take the negate, but I mean, I don't know why. Doesn't really matter. Ooh, it's kind of crazy. These are the remaining cards. We'll take the Cruel Finality. So yeah, we've got pack 3 to basically find a couple removal spells. I think that's basically all this deck needs. Just needs a couple removal. I mean, we still can splash off the Unbridled Growth as well, but I'm not sure we have to. If we open a bomb, I will. But yeah, we just have a Monstrous Onslaught right now. I guess a Consulate Crackdown's kind of removal as well. But I'm looking for, you know, I would settle for Revoke Privileges. That would be nice. Hunt the Weak would be good. So we've got removal we're going to be on the lookout for. Okay, so our weakest cards right now that are still in the deck are probably the Automaton and the Implement. The Automaton is kind of cool with the Bandar. You can move a counter. It's still a very expensive +1/+1 counter. It's a lot more effective with Rishkar, where you get 2 counters, I would say. And I guess it's kind of cool with our Revolt. I mean, with Rallier too. Yeah, I mean, Automaton could be the real deal in this deck with Revolt. If you have enough mana, especially. Animation Module does work with Bandar, doesn't it? That's pretty cool. There's also a Blossoming Defense, which sadly I kind of need because we just don't have removal, and a Combat Trick to me kind of counts as removal. But I think we gotta do Animation Module. This just... How many things do we have that this works with? So we've got the 2 Bandars. We have Dragster, I guess? But I don't even know if I probably don't want to give another... It works with the Renegade, and that's it, and the Lifecrafter's Gift. So we have like 5. You have to pay the extra too. Yeah, it's basically Animation Module versus Blossoming Defense here. This is a way to grow every turn, so it's a good like long game plan. Plus, we might be able to find a Fabrication Module. I'm going to go for the rare here, even though I really want this Blossoming Defense. I've had some good experiences with the Animation Module. So here's an Appetite, but I think we're going to take the Revoke Privileges. Like I said, we wanted hard removal. Here's our opportunity to take it. And if you know me, you know I'm not even like one of those guys that's super in love with Revoke Privileges, but I'm definitely taking it here. Over the Deadlock Trap, over the Inspector, over the Appetite, over the Goggles, and Tiger. And we'll be happy enough with that. We're actually pretty removal or creature light right now, which is surprising. Okay, so we can take the Pioneer, but we probably want the Seed Sculptor. It's cheaper and fits in better with our Animation Module plan. There's also a Filigree Familiar in here, which is good, but I'm going to focus more on the +1/+1 counter stuff now that we have good synergies with it. The Module and the Gift are going to just be really good with that. So let's take the Seed Sculptor over Cobra, over Pioneer, over Familiar, and we're happy enough with that. I'm always happy with a Seed Sculptor. I'm still thinking 16 land deck. I think the next to get booted is probably the Implement. Even though it is a Revolt enabler, double Conviction with Unbridled Growth and Scrounging Bandars will do just fine for that. And like I said, it's still a pretty decent chance we boot the Automaton, but I'm willing to debate it at least. So the Puzzle Knot, we don't really need the energy or the life, but it's a Revolt enabler. Or we could take the Attune, which is just a way to find a mana you want. Or we could take the Hawk, which is a creature that we can play, and it gives us some evasion. The problem is I don't think we have any other way to get energy in this deck, do we? But you can also buff it with Seed Sculptor and Bandar, Rishkar as well. It's actually not bad. So Attune fixes our mana and is a fairly safe card to play in a 16 land deck. It's just sort of helpful, but I think I might just take the Hawk. Like, we don't need to splash for anything. So Attune's basically just fixing our colored mana. But we're not even super color intensive. We only have 2 spells in the deck that are double color. I'm going to take the Hawk because we're creature light and I want to be able to evade. Like, even just being able to get a couple attacks in can do a lot. So we have Decoction module now, but I'm looking more for the Fabrication module. Underhanded Design, I don't think is worth splashing for. Yeah, Decoction module doesn't really do what we need it to, I don't think, in this deck. We don't have a need for energy outside of the Hawk. And Hawk just getting a couple attacks in with one of our bigger guys could very easily be good enough. So maybe I just want the Wanderer, which isn't great either. Good black cards in here, my god. Marauder, Designs, and Operative, and even the Pillar Bug. A lot of good black cards, but we'll take the Wanderer. So Implement can probably just get the boot here. Inspired Charge, this isn't really an Inspired Charge deck. We do have a way to generate servos, but I'm not feeling it. I still kind of feel like I want to boot the Automaton. Actually, maybe I just boot the Wanderer. Remember, we're still creature light too, which is a problem. I'll take the takedown for sideboard here. I don't need a P-foul that I can't really utilize. I mean, technically, I guess we could use it off of growth, but I'm not feeling it. So if I cut one more creature, I typically count vehicles as half a creature. So we'd still be at like 14 creatures if I cut like a Wild Wanderer. Mostly because this isn't fixing our mana and ramping isn't something this deck really needs that I see. Gearper Guide is good. Can give you some nice evasion. I like Insidious Will a lot. I think people tend to overlook it because they just see like, oh, it's a 4-mana counterspell. No, it's actually much better than that. It really is versatile and can flip a game around in the right spot. So I've had a lot of success with Insidious Will when I'm actually blue. Yeah, we've got some real decisions to make here on cuts. Even though I can main deck the Crackdown, I might just want to sideboard it. I kind of want my creature count to be high. Cobra is a great pickup for us, so we'll take that. So I think the Wanderer is going to go. I feel like I can cut a Crackdown, basically because, like I said, even though it is totally main deckable, there are going to be some matchups where I'm unhappy that I have it in my deck. It's going to be like 5 mana, get rid of a bad artifact. I mean, I'll look a little bit more closely, but all right, here I guess we'll take a Subtle Strike. And the Automaton might have to get the boot too. Even though it does have, well, it's pretty cool with like Harpooner though. Can just kill things. Kind of interested in the Automaton, to be honest. It's so expensive though, but I feel like on a stalled board state it can do a lot. You can just draw cards off Unbridled Growth. Wow, getting the Appetite back. Like, I'd much rather, I think, main deck Appetite over the Consulate Crackdown. Even though this potentially does more, this is more versatile and cheaper. Gains you life, can deal with enchantments, instant speed. We'll take it. Now, that one I'm going to try and main deck, but we'll figure out if we can make it happen. thing is, I also want to keep this Lifecrafter's Gift because of animation module. I need to make sure we have enough ways to get +1/+1 counters. Because currently we basically have, what, double... I guess I'll take the vehicle. Our Dara Express with aerial modification is pretty sick, but I'd rather play our other two vehicles, rather. We'll figure this out. Sequestered stash. Okay, I don't need the other stuff. So, yeah, just need to figure out some last cuts here. I forgot that Deadeye Harpooner is also a removal spell in our deck. So really, we're rocking Monstrous Onslaught, Appetite, Revoke, Harpooner. That's not bad, actually. That's a pretty decent removal suite. Aegis Automaton, like I said, is basically just in here for additional Into the Battlefield Revolt value alongside cards like Conviction. But, I mean, also, I guess technically if you just have like 8 mana, you can bounce a Rallier and then replay it for 8. But I don't know if 8 mana to get a 3/2 that can bring back a 2 or 1 drop is really all that good. Especially since it cost me a slot in my deck for a 2 mana 0/3. Like, it is cool. It also can protect from removal. I'm hesitant to try it out. Despite, I do think this is probably the best deck you could ask for Automaton. Honestly, I do. I think it is probably the best deck you could ask for. But I'm still kind of unconvinced I want it in my deck. I feel like we're doing better things outside of it. So let's cut the Crackdown from the main deck. We can always sideboard into it if we play against some hardcore servo deck. I'd prefer to not cut another creature, but we can. The worst creature in my deck is probably the Automaton, I guess, right? Like, I still want to be able to fly over top with Hawk. I could cut the Hawk. I only have... This is the only card in my deck that gets energy. So basically it's 2 attacks with our guys over top. You can also buff it up, though, with Bandar. Like, making it a 3/4 flyer is very significant in certain situations. Plus, I can get it back with Rallier, which is cool. I still need to make 2 cuts. I feel like it's probably the Automaton. I'm gonna go for more of a beatdown style strategy rather than like a late game value style deck. Like, I think right now our curve is good enough where we can pretty effectively beat in often too. And even animation module is just, what's nice about this card is you get to attack with a bunch of cards that are buffed with +1/+1 counters, and then at instant speed you can just pay 3 and buff it again. So it is pretty cool. I want to keep the gift too. I can't cut another creature though, so I do have to decide on a final card to cut. The Conviction is something I can consider, but I really like having the Revolt. Although, we have 4 Revolt cards, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Are there any other ones? I don't think so. So I can cut a Conviction, and we still have Growth, Conviction, Bandar, that's 4. 5, sort of, because it's got a sack effect. So 5 ways to get Revolt. And that's basically 5 ways to, like, cheat Revolt, right? It's not 5 ways to... I mean, any deck that didn't have enablers could still get Revolt. It's just you need to trade in combat or something along those lines. So it might be that I just don't need double Conviction, especially since I'm a little bit lower on my creature count than I'm comfortable with. But I still want to play like Mobile Garrison and the Dragster because I feel like these are good vehicles, especially with the modification. Plus, I want to be able to get good Restoration Specialist value, which I think having the 2 vehicles is really nice for. Having the Treasure Keeper is nice for that too. All right, and the Cobra. Yeah, this is all right. I think we're gonna cut a Conviction. As much as I love having the free Revolt, not free, but the cheap Revolt, I think having one of that, a Growth, and the 2 Bandars is going to be enough. The Bandars with the Rallier alone is just really nice. Get rid of the 2 counters, buff one of your guys, play Rallier, bring it right back. That's really strong value. Okay, so like I said, our removal looks good, right? We've got the Appetite, the Revoke, the Gift, the Onslaught, and the Harpooner. So we've got a good combination of tricks and removal. We have a great curve. It's very low. I feel totally comfortable running 16 lands here. We're not super color intensive. Like I said, in fact, we only have a double green spell, so we don't even have to focus that much on white. I think I'll probably do 9-7. I just want to make sure I can play my white spells when I need to. But we only need 1 green until Monstrous Onslaught time. So, yeah, this deck is good. This deck is definitely good. It's cool. It's got some good Revolt synergy. So, we'll run it like this, and we'll see you round 1, folks.